All right, being that it is 7 o'clock, gonna call this town board meeting to order. The fire exits are outside that door and at each end of the hall. Across the hallway, there is a defibrillator machine in case one is needed. We will start with the pledge of allegiance to the flag and a moment of silence for our deceased residents. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, we will continue with the invocation from Pastor Nicholas Russo from Walker Bible Baptist Church.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for tonight. Thank you again for the town that we get to live in, the freedoms that you've blessed us with, the officials that you've given to us. Lord, I pray you give them wisdom tonight. And God, I pray that everything would be done decently and in order here. God, that you just be pleased with all that is said and done. I pray this all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. All right, will our clerk please do the roll call?
Probert.
Here.
Wright.
Here.
Vogel. Here. Yeager.
Here.
Bowers.
Here. We're gonna continue with the public forum. Please, if you have anything, please address the board as a whole, not as each person. Try and keep a minute, or your talk 3 to 5 minutes. We may give you an explanation, we may talk back to you, whatever, but we may not. It's up to the discretion of the board. And we will start with, I do have a paper, so we can start with Matt Summer from 112 Railroad Ave.
Hi, my name is Matt Summer from 112 Railroad Avenue. I'm here to address the board about the concern we have with rising water issues in the neighborhood. As Steve probably knows, and I'm sure others know, that it's been an issue right along in our neighborhood. But of late, it seems like it's more often and waters are getting higher. On Friday, the 26th of January, we had like 3/10 of an inch of rain and a little bit of snow melt, nothing out of the norm. And we've had probably the highest water we've seen in our backyards. One of the issues that I think affects it is the flow rate of the water going out. Steve probably knows there's a big culvert pipe that goes under the railroad bed. And that day, the water was all the way to the very top of it, so it couldn't flow out. So I was hoping that the town could address it, because I know they own, or I understand that they own most of the area around that railroad bed. And it's drainage coming down along King Street and then crosses to the north side of the railroad bed, and then goes along the old Duffy Mott's and across to Brookedge. So I walked back there, and down trees, brush, a lot of stuff hindering the flow rate, as well as I think the concrete culvert isn't big enough to take the water out of there quick enough. So it keeps just backing up into the yards. So I was hoping the town, I was told that the best way to do this would be to come to the board meeting and present it, to see if you guys would be able to address the issue, see if there's a solution. Like I said, I think it's a matter of that area being cleaned out and possibly that culvert pipe being made bigger beside what's already there, just because the water doesn't flow out quickly.
Okay. I am gonna respond a little, just because I know what's going on. an ongoing problem ever since that housing tract was built, honestly. It got worse when that housing tract was built. And Mike and he and I did go and look at that. And we have seen the trees and stuff in the ditch, but it's also not just around there. It's downstream farther towards Weiler Road, towards Route 260. That we saw, we have seen trees across the ditch and everything that would slow the water, because in the housing tract there at Brook Edge, actually the water was hitting all those bridges also. So, I mean, there was more, yes, there is some brush right from close to your house and everything, but it's also down farther, do it slow it down. Saying that, and like I said, I have talked with Mike, because he is your highway superintendent, and he would be the one doing the work, his crew, not us, but I mean, we have to talk, we have to look at it close, we have to go and contact the DEC, because that is a named creek, West Creek it's called, so it's DEC wetlands. So even to get in there and cut the trees and throw them out of the ditch, that's all we wanna do. I don't think the ditch needs to be cleaned out as much as it does, just ash trees and everything else, just like everyone knows, they're tipping over needs, they're dropped right across the ditch, slowing down the water. So this spring and stuff, and I mean, we won't be able to do it till it dries out, get in there, But we've gotta contact the DEC first, get their permission to go in there, cut the trees, not so much right around your house, but once you get down the creek farther.
Right, the wetlands aren't behind our house.
No,
They're further.
they're down farther, right,
Right.
but that's, like I said, the water was hitting that, in that house track, all the bridges too, which tells us it's actually backing up down, or downstream farther to the east. So what we have talked, and we're going to look at it and call the DEC, before we go in there, we have to get a DEC permit, whatever you do it. Hopefully it won't be too bad, because we don't want to disturb ground. All we want to do is cut trees like on each side of the ditch and just throw them up on the land, off of the creek. It's actually a creek, I call it a ditch for everyone. To get it out of there so it stops slowing down the water flow. But that will be our first step this spring, to get the DEC permission to get in there and do
So
it.
you don't think anything behind on the other side, just directly north of the railroad is gonna?
Oh, yeah, I mean, that
Maybe.
needs to be cleaned out some too, but we can do that without the DEC permit.
Right.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, that needs to be cleaned out, somebody there.
The biggest thing beyond that would be opening it up,
Right,
because it's backing up across the street and everything,
right,
because we have those two ditches that come together right there.
yes.
So it backs up that ditch, and it's
Yes.
the yards on the south side of the road.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we wouldn't do some ditching or whatever, right there around your houses and over towards the housing tract. Yeah, that needs it, but we don't need a permit to do that. But yes, that would be cleaned out also, but we've gotta get the permit to, it's all, like I said, a lot of it is the trees and stuff across it, too, so we would have to look at that, and like I say, get a permit before we even jump in there and do that, but.
Is there a chance of getting some kind of contact down the road to find out how it's going, or what the plan may be?
Sure, you can always call up here, call me, or call the highway department. Mike would, like I said, it would be his crew doing the work, but you can call either highway or me up here and see how it's going. Absolutely.
All right.
We'll go in and take the trees out, but there's a much, you're welcome to this if you want to look at it. This was a flood study from 2002 that the town contracted with Chatfield to do. The town had hired a contractor to clean from Weiler Road back to Lake Breeze in 1996. Took all the trees out and took anything out of the ditch that needed to be cleaned. And this study was 6 years after this. There's flood pictures in here from Lake Breeze Estates. And the engineers put together a few different plans to take care of this. And unfortunately, the bottom line to those plans is there's no fall from here to Braddock's Bay in that ditch. So we do face the reality of that. The topographical maps show 50 feet of elevation change from Braddock's Bay to your backyard, which is 11 miles if you're going a straight line, not taking into account all the twists and turns of the ditch, makes that a 0.089% slope. The water
I
doesn't
mean, it
go
is flowing.
anywhere fast.
It is flowing, you can see it flowing out of there.
It flows and it drains out eventually. Even their proposal to widen the ditch, their statement is that will not change things because you don't have the slope to move the water. It's always going to back up. So, yes, we are gonna go in and clean the trees out, but we have a whole nother reality we have to.
It's never
No,
gonna
I
be perfect,
under-
is what
I
he's
understand
saying.
that.
Yeah.
It's never gonna be perfect and be completely dry.
Like I
It
said,
just-
we had the issue, we know it.
Yeah.
But it just seems like it's gotten
I mean, these,
worse as it backs up.
It probably had, there's some trees falling, so it's gotten worse than what it used to be.
take this and look at the pictures in here from 2002, because I said the same thing Friday. I've never seen it that bad.
Yeah.
Those pictures are worse than 22 years ago.
All right.
At least it gives you a little information that, you know, the town's, this hasn't been totally oblivious to the town. It's been-
No, I know, it was addressed even before you were in there
Yeah,
with Austin, I think.
Yeah.
it's been addressed with just.
But that may be what
Yeah.
happened in '96.
You know, and when Steve was the highway superintendent, we went from the buffer zone of those state and federal wetlands all the way back. We went from your house out to King Street taking trees out. And Steve did everything we could at that point. But you say the tree's full of, the ditch is full of trees, and it certainly needs to be addressed, but you gotta have the right permitting to do it.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Anybody else? Cheryl, I'm gonna call your name out. Do you guys say anything, or is it already been on there?
No, I mean, I agree that it's always gonna be wet back there, and I get that, but I've lived in that house for 34 years, and it was in the back of my barn, and it's never come that high. It'll come to the back of it, and it was all the way up to their back porch. It's never, in all the years I've been there, gotten that high. And I agree, it's never gonna be dry, but when it just starts affecting the house and stuff, the yard is one thing, but when it starts getting into the property and the houses and the barns and stuff, that's concerning. Like, I know it's never gonna be dry back there, but
Right.
Yeah, and we've gotten used to that, but like she said, it's just, now it's coming up and, like.
It's gotten worse, yeah.
Shop
Yeah.
and our patio was all, water.
Once it's ash, it's mostly the ash trees.
Yeah, and I
It is,
think
yeah.
it is,
Yeah.
it's just so full of debris that,
No, we took everyone out of our backyard.
yeah, we've been working.
yeah, we're willing to keep our yards clean to keep the flow going, but
Yeah,
If
the
it-
problem goes,
if it
Couple
can't
miles.
go anywhere, it doesn't do
Couple
us any
miles.
good to keep our yards cleaned up, you know?
And
Right.
right in front of the culvert where it drains out, it's just built up with debris for so many years that it's just a mound of dirt that I think could just be dug out to help it kind of continue going.
That area we can monkey with that area, it's down far, we have to
I
take
think
care of
you
it.
may even have done something.
We did, we dug
Couple
behind
years
your
ago,
house.
We cleaned our ditch out.
We,
Because
yeah,
we
we
need
had
to
our-
$1,200
get
bucks
it,
that
yeah,
cleaned
into
out.
the culvert.
Okay, I know there's a couple other people here who we had to talk about tonight. Dave or Mark, do you wanna make any comments during the public forum to address what you're here for tonight? Just state your name and your address, please.
Mark Planner, I live at West Wakuma Beach.
Okay.
Our sewer project is pretty much complete. We're in the process of hooking up to that this year. I missed it last year. I collect all the taxes from the 6 neighbors on the back side of my road. We have a lake access lot that's ever since I've lived there for 26, 27 years. Can't build on it. You can't put a shed on it. You couldn't put a gazebo on it. I wanted to put a shed on it years ago. Well, I couldn't because you couldn't build on it. Just put kids' toys in it and stuff from the lake instead of dragging them to the house all the time. Looking to try to confirm that it is still a non-registered building lot. It's not big enough to build anything In our defense, we don't think should need to pay the sewer tax for that vacant lot. Should be just absorbed, it's, the town, it's owned by, or, it's on our deed for 6 of our houses, and we all pay the tax on our house, property for our house, particular house. So it's something I brought up to the assessor's office, and they told me to talk to you today, and we'll go from there, so,
Okay,
thank you.
yes, thank you. I do have a picture for the town board. I'm gonna discuss this right now just because he's talking about it. We've never discussed this before. And I did go on it's not even pictometry anymore. Also, they changed the site. They did it on our old site as of yesterday. So there's a different site, so I'm learning how to use the site better. But I do have a picture of their lot. It's one vacant lot. It is 43 points, let's say 44 feet wide. I know what the lot is like. I've actually stood on the lot when we were flooding and everything. There's lots next to it, 46 feet wide, 45 feet wide, 44 feet wide, 43, almost 44 feet wide. So there are 4 lots close to it that do have homes on them, as you can see from this picture. Not saying that their lot is still buildable. I don't know. We're just going by, we have to be careful with it. So I don't think we can make a decision tonight. But we can actually go down and take a look at it, talk with our building inspector more and everything, see if the lot actually is buildable or not. We have to be careful because we can't just nilly-willy go out and say, okay, you don't have to pay taxes. We have to be careful when we're doing this kind of stuff. Because there's other lots that are questionable. So we have to think about it and look at it. I'm not asking the board to make a decision tonight, but we're bringing it up. We could talk about it again once we look into it farther, our next meeting on February 28th, I believe it is. Yes, February 28th, we can bring it up again and look at it, once we do more. But I mean, like I say, there's other lots that do have houses on them that are darn near close to the same width. Now, there is a town pipe or ditch going right on the very west side of it, over there, out to the lake of drainage easement. So that might factor in, yeah, that may factor into whether you can build on it and stuff too. But I'm just saying, we need to look at it farther, and before we make a decision. We have to do more research, yes, but we can talk about it more in our next meeting, once we have done more. The 2 gentlemen just came to me today and asked about it, so I didn't have a lot of time with meetings and everything, to do a lot of discussion, or a lot of research on it. But they may have a valid point, but that's where we need to do more research, not just go out and say, okay, because then there's gonna be 50 other people behind them. But if they are a valid reason, then let's look at it, but we need to do our due diligence, and we will talk about it further at our next meeting.
Is your request to build on the lot, or is your request to not pay taxes?
Not pay the sewer
The
tax.
sewer
Sewer
tax.
tax.
Yeah.
I requested years ago to build a small shed on the lot and was denied, saying you can't build on it.
You can't have an accessory structure on a lot that doesn't have a primary residence on it. So you can't, unless you have a primary residence, you can't build a shed.
So it's not necessarily the size.
Right, it's not the size. No, I'm gonna guess that you probably could go to the zoning board and
I was
get
gonna say,
zoning variances because of the situation down there. I'm sure they would be granted. You could put a house there probably.
Yeah, every one of those houses next to you or to
I don't-
these have gotten variances.
I don't believe anybody can build on it because it's in six deeds on the south side of the road that we have the right of way across that property to get to the lake.
Mhm.
So I'm investigating right now to find a deed on it I haven't been able to find a deed. I was at the assessor's office today for probably an hour, and we were talking to people down at the county court, and they said, good luck.
And that's part of the research, that's why we're not gonna make a
That's some of
decision
the
tonight.
research we gotta do to find the deed.
Mhm.
And years ago, I moved down there in 90 it was, and there was a gentleman there by the name of Bill Noggle. He always took care of it, he paid the taxes and everything else. Well, he passed away, and Mark kinda took over, says, well, I'll take over with the taxes and everything, so now we split the taxes up.
All
Bill
you
wouldn't even take money from us for the taxes.
need to do is get a hold of an abstract company and have them
Well,
abstract the
that's-
property.
That's what I did today, and they sent me one, but it's 1986, and I tried finding that gentleman, and he's deceased.
Yeah, but
So-
the abstract company should be able to go back and find the deed that has the
Right,
easements in it.
that's what they sent me, was the only one they had was dated 1986. Nothing,
A deed,
a deed.
right, you probably will not see the easement in any newer deeds.
Oh, yeah,
The easement is probably in the older deeds because when we write a deed, it says, subject to all easements, covenants,
well,
and restrictions.
our deeds are, all say that we have the right of way across lot 15,
Okay,
which is that lot,
okay,
so,
so then you have the easement,
right.
right. So what are you
So-
looking for a deed, what deed are you looking for?
We're looking for the deed for that lot.
What is it?
There's gotta be a deed for the lot, I would think. Somebody's gotta have a deed. The
Mhm.
one that I got shows where the guy bought it sold it for $1.
Right, and
That's all
that's the current deed.
But that guy's passed away now. That's our problem. So to find the actual deed, we haven't been able to find it.
What's the address of the property?
5882.
West Rotoma?
I was down at the county office building, and they said they couldn't even find it as being listed as a lot.
But it used to be a state road too, the state owned it years ago, that piece of land. Cause the town took possession of that from the state, so that might have been state owned. Cause that whole, your road and everything used to be state owned, which you know.
Well, in my abstract, it shows it all as being 60-some acres back there, and then it got all divided up in 1954, according to mine, is when the right-of-way thing came about for lot 15 on everybody's deed. As the one guy sold, he must have sold all these properties off,
Mhm.
and that's what happened.
That's probably when the town or the state put the concrete culverts into the lake, or
The state put them in.
the state did?
Okay.
Okay.
So the question is too, are we responsible for the sewer tap? Sewer taxes?
Right, right now, we're working, like I said, our next meeting, we'll talk more about, it. We need to, I just found out today.
Yeah.
We need to.
I'll be in touch with you too, Stephen, what I find.
Yep.
We
That's all right.
appreciate your
We'll
help.
keep in touch, we just, like I said, we just found out.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Is there anybody else who wants to talk at the public forum? Seeing that there isn't anybody, we're gonna close the public forum. We're gonna, at this point, we have a Boy Scout, I think you're a Boy Scout, right? Not an Eagle Scout? Boy Scout. Oh, Boy Scout presentation of a park path exercise equipment out here behind our town hall, or to the east of our town hall.
Hello, I'm Ian Schuler. I'm a Life Scout from Route 324, and as my Eagle project, I would like to set up some exercise things on the trail that was added back there. And there would be 3 of them. There would be a dip bar, a sit-up, leg lift bench, and a step up for lower body. I would also like to put up a welcome mat, a welcome sign, and a map to show the areas, because I walked it a while ago and it kind of got a bit confusing on where the road was and where the actual, path was. I also heard that there was, complaints from the houses next to it, so I thought that I should also put a sign saying that you should like, basically keep to your own business. I don't know how to put it right now.
That's really how they love that.
Yeah.
We like to say that to them.
Yeah. So like just saying that there is private property next to them and, you should be mindful of that.
That would be a better sign, saying be respectful of the private property
Yeah.
next to you.
Yeah, I like your first one. Are you gonna put these, the other signs on how to use the equipment too?
Yes, that will be on the report.
I do not, let me interrupt you for a second, I do not have your name, can you state your name?
Ian Stewart?
Okay. Is it on here, or didn't look at it? Okay,
And where are you getting the supplies out for the?
I will get, donations and, then I'll just buy it from Lowe's or Home Depot.
So you're gonna do your own fundraising?
Mm-hmm.
Will it have to be, it won't be included in the path that's existing, you have to make a separate area, you know, as,
It will be like on the side of the path that's existing.
Mulch,
that's what I was gonna say.
pavement,
Pavement. I'm thinking.
Are you gonna? Gonna do that, I mean,
you're gonna probably need mulch or something around.
Yeah,
the soft area.
I don't know if you, yeah, I don't know if you can put pavement underneath something that you may fall off.
Okay.
That's okay. Your picture shows mulch.
Oh,
And then with the mulch, will there be some kind of border around that to make that area so that the park can keep it mowed, keep it trimmed?
Yeah.
You know, rather than have mulch going out in the grass. I don't know what your concerns with that are, Mike, as far as maintenance.
Well, the map, you look at the map that's by itself, Station 1 is in a green space. Station 2 is in our pony baseball field. Station 3 is in our practice football field. Depending what side of the path they're on. I don't think it's respectful to our neighbors to put things between the path and their property lines. We've already had people here complaining just about the idea that we're gonna put benches there. So, Station 2 and Station 3 don't, they don't, is my concern. And yes, my concern is maintenance, because these are gonna be a continued maintenance item for the town.
Right.
That we're already pressed to maintain what we have, and we're still looking forward at the state building out the Park on Brick Schoolhouse Road. And that's what Jennifer had asked when we were all brainstorming this, was could these go down there, but no, they can't until the state does what they're gonna do and they hand it over. We can't throw things into their plan.
There are other places on the path that this would work. Are they down farther in the turn, or?
You know,
There-
about back farther.
Yeah.
When you get out beyond Station 3, between that area between Station 3 and the far back parking lot, that's very wet. And that's a pretty substantial drainage ditch that goes through there. There's potentially room on the north side of that back parking lot. All of those ash trees that have been cleared out, it would kind of depend where back there we were looking at. Oh yeah, we have disc golf there. And that is another concern, is you're putting things, we just put up a disc golf course that they're playing through all these things. We're already playing disc golf through active fields.
Is there, between the tennis courts and the roadway, that's a big area there? Because I think when people are exercising, they don't wanna be in the middle of nowhere in case something happens, where if it's by the other activities, maybe that might be an option.
Yeah, there's other places in the park. The concern is the continued maintenance of these. Once they're donated to the town, they're the town's responsibility.
That was gonna be my question, just looking at the materials, it looks like most of them are just, are they all wood that would, is a,
It's,
gonna need continual maintenance?
petrified, stained, in the footprint.
Treated?
Pressure treated, sorry.
What's the maintenance on that, like? A pressure treated piece of exercise equipment?
The wood itself is just, would be nothing more than vandalism. Which we have a fair amount of, I don't want to say it's, in the playground we have now, that we have to deal with it. My concern is really more the ground. You know, these playgrounds that are mulch based are constant, you know, dealing with the weeds.
Can we put it on the playground, where that empty, that
You know,
area?
Well, Steve and the recreation department are working on some new playground equipment for that area. But I don't know where that, Kaylee. Kaylee's.
It's gonna be right in the TP area and stuff. I'm not saying that there isn't room, like say, what you work with, Mike is off in charge of arts. I'm not saying there isn't room up closer, like what Patty Joe was saying, towards the courthouse and in that area, more up in that area to have your exercise equipment. So we're not saying no right now, but we probably need to do a little more research on this, maybe even us, take a walk out there and see, you know, I hate looking at that, but I can walk there. We're gonna have to go out there.
Yeah, it might be better to combine the three in one specific area, so you're not maintaining three different areas.
Yeah.
That might be what we say, but maybe up towards like the tennis court.
Like,
Right, up in that area, yeah, we could. I mean, that's, you know, take a walk out there and see, and see what is the best location and everything. Maybe it would be better to have all three in one little area, so you don't have all the different stuff to work in, it's, you know. So, I think we need to take a walk out there, the board, if that's what you, and see and stuff first. And, you know, get back to you and everything, maybe come back in here, just get back in touch with us. And see exactly what's.
do you have a timeline that you have to have? this
Yeah,
by?
I am on limited time because I turned 18 in May.
When do you have to have it?
Before May would be,
Before this May?
Yeah.
How long do you think the actual construction of this stuff?
it'd be like a month.
Bank installation, would probably be done in a weekend. With the station being put together prior.
We had like a month to go out. We went on the next whole board meeting.
Yeah. Okay, why don't you give us a little time to go out there and walk and look at this now that you have presented it and to us? And to go out there and see exactly where would be the best spot for it, if we think so. And we'll go out and walk and have our highway guy come out and with us too, and like I say, maybe like our town clerk, when it's at the, maybe it's a better idea to put it closer in an area up here.
I like the idea of the signage, you know, some people have, I think that's a great idea. And I don't know, I feel we're doing that independent of the exercise equipment, if we wanted to like start on that. I don't know, maybe it makes it less, I think a sign of the park with like, you know, a little map of where things are, like where is the disc golf course, where is the walking path, where does it go?
These are the basic ideas you had for the exercise, or was there other ones? Or
Yeah, that's it.
that's what you came down to?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, I think he's got it.
Yeah,
Like you say, get it.
yep.
Walk the park.
Yeah, let's go up there and walk it and stuff, so I guess thank you for your presentation, we appreciate it. We appreciate your energy and stuff trying to do this, make things better and everything. But we'll go out and walk the park, we will get back in touch with you, knowing your timeline and everything. All right, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Requesting town board resolution to approve the regular town board meeting minutes of January 24th, 2023.
Robert,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Volko, Geiger,
Yes.
Haas.
Yes. Requesting town board resolution to approve the payment of bills from their respective funds.
So moved. Second.
Robert,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Volko, Geiger,
Yes.
Haas.
Yes. Supervisor's monthly report of knowledge filed. Number 11, requesting town board resolution to rescind resolution number 86, requesting a public hearing to change fire exemptions. I'm gonna, before anybody does this, I misspoke the last meeting. I was looking at our calendar up here and I was looking at March instead of February. Because we need to have it done before the 1st of March actually, so I misspoke the last meeting, so we gotta rescind because of that date and move that meeting date.
Second.
Robert,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Volko, Geiger,
Yes.
Haas.
Yes. Number 12, request a town board resolution to set the public hearing to consider adopting local law number 1-2024 to provide a tax exemption for volunteer fire and ambulance workers on February 28, 2024 at 6:30 PM, located at the Hamilton Town Hall, 1658 Lake Road, Hamilton, New York.
Second. Does it give you enough time to put it in the paper? and
Yeah.
everything?
Yes.
Yep. Ready to go. Robert,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Volko, Geiger,
Yes.
Haas.
Yes. 13, requesting town board resolution to pay the Time Warner tax bill for 2024 in the amount of $1,577.22 as per the franchise agreement.
Robert,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Volko, Geiger,
Yes.
Haas.
Yes. Requesting town board resolution to approve MRB's quote of $11,000 to proceed with a feasibility study for future water districts in Hamlin. And did everybody get my email about that? Go ahead.
There's my main question was, it's just a general, they're just gonna do a feasibility townwide, there's no specific spot.
No. We're looking at the whole town, we may have to delete some, I mean, there are some spots that, like, maybe there's 2 or 3 houses, but mostly farmland, if the farmers all say, no, you're not putting that down my road or whatever, because they own most of it, then it probably won't be in that road, but we still need to do a feasibility study as far as how much it costs, they're gonna see, I have a map, I kinda wrote down kind of how many houses, I used Google Earth or whatever, just kind of saw how many houses, I wrote it all down. In each parcel that didn't have water and stuff, a couple of the parcels that don't have water, or a couple of parts of roads that actually don't have any houses. Water comes in this way, water comes in that way, and then there's no houses.
Do you know how many there is? Houses? Will that be part of it?
Around, it was a little over 100, I believe. Yeah, it was over 100 houses.
And
mean, some of the roads like Brick wasn't like, maybe like
Talked to
18.
JP at the planning board about it a little bit and asked them, you know, say we don't qualify for a grant or in one area or two or whatever, if this feasibility study would be good. I mean, once you do the study, the houses really aren't gonna change, and then, you know what the pressures are, what the water capacity is. So that study should be good, say if you wanna revisit it 3-4 years down the road, when maybe some parameters change where we qualify for grants. At least that part of it's done. That's the way, it's like the sewer, why we got that grant, because they did the feasibility study, that was, basically the first batch was done.
Right.
We do qualify to use the USDA. We qualify for a 45% grant right now. I'm still trying to work on that to see if we can find out anything else. So at this point right now, 45% is probably with USDA. We hope, but we haven't asked them if that's the way to do it. Because of our tax base. Median household income. But, like I say, I don't believe that every piece of parcel, we will put water down, to be honest. I think there's gonna be some low there.
There's only 100 parcels out currently.
100 and, it might be 120, something.
That's pretty good.
With houses.
We don't have a residence.
Oh, I have a colored map, you guys can always take a picture of whatever. You do have that. Oh, I couldn't find my red marker. I started out with red. So then it went to the pink, because that's all my secretary had was pink, not red. So the pink and red are the only roads that don't have water on them. So most of the town is actually covered in water. And I wrote on there, like 11 houses in that stretch, 10 houses in that stretch.
Might be able to cover quite a few.
We might be able to cover some of them. Like I say, this stretch, no houses.
Yeah, with houses.
This stretch, no houses at all in that little stretch right there. So some of the places, and
Gotta start someplace.
we gotta start someplace. That's the map. That's actually, like I said, the places that don't have water. So it's, yeah, once you look at it, a lot of towns don't have water service to it. So.
All right.
So moved.
Second?
Crumpet,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Vogt, Volkman after.
This is all roll.
Jaeger,
Yes.
Buzz.
Yes,
Yeah, I would like to take a picture of it.
that's fine. Yeah, everybody can. Yeah, after the thing. That's why I brought it tonight. In case you want anybody want to take a picture or whatever. Absolutely. So I have the permission to sign this thing now. This is their paperwork. I'll just sign it, send it back to them, and we can start, get that study rolling.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Is there anything else from the highway department, any other resolutions?
Look for a heater that came in Friday afternoon, you wanna talk about?
No, go ahead, talk about your heat or whatever. Go ahead.
We have 2 furnaces in our truck room. The one Steve replaced probably 6 or 7 years ago. The other one, what we determined, those were already replacements, but they're like from the 80s.
Yeah, they were there for a bunch of years.
So the older one died. Isaac was out last week and the heat exchangers all cracked and their advisement was not to run. So Friday afternoon, I got the quote from them, $7,850 for a total replacement. I don't have quotes from anybody else. They're the ones that do all our maintenance. They were the cheapest when we priced the other heater. And they're the only ones that generally get back to us because we've gone through a couple of bigger companies for service. So I don't know if you want me to wait and get more quotes or go with them.
The other companies, from what they don't like, because we're a municipality and everything, it's prevailing wage. Some of the companies say, I'm not doing anything with prevailing wage. They're big companies, they have commercials on TV every week. They said, we're not doing the town because we're not gonna deal with prevailing wages of pay.
So why they put this in? Do they have the equipment now to do it, or is this?
I would think they have to order the furnace. He did not. Like I said, he just got this to me Friday afternoon.
We're taking the money on the order?
I don't know exactly where to find it or whatever. I mean, it's a broken heater, you can keep it going.
Right. Maybe hard.
We haven't looked at that closely enough
It'd be nice if we had, if we could get another boat. It would be nice if there's somebody,
So now that you mentioned the name, they're the ones that we tried before and would never get back to us. We tried them on a maintenance contract. We had them for a couple of years. And it was a battle to get them there, and they were the competition when we put the other furnace in, and they were nowhere near close. So does that still stand true? I don't know, but that's where we've been with them.
Realizing some of them, that I'm not gonna
well, I
mention
can
names,
believe that.
they just won't deal with it, because we're prevailing wage.
I think we just go for it.
And that's the other, you have to make sure whatever you buy, that Isaac is a certified dealer for, to then take care of it in the long run.
Isaac is well, he's asking to be a maintenance agreement with Isaac. That's how they found it during the maintenance agreement, to inspect the furnaces.
So we need a resolution, or he's gonna make a motion to approve the amount.
Well, he hasn't given the second amount yet. Or don't you? Both furnaces are 7,800 each?
No, this is just the one. The newer one is hopefully down the road a little bit still.
Oh, so we don't need to replace that one right away?
No, we do not. need to
Okay,
do
I
two
thought
right
we
now.
replaced them both right away.
That one's shut off totally on it, right, like, he's not even.
The heat exchanger's cracked, so
Yeah.
if you're running it, you're
Yeah.
putting
Carbon
carbon monoxide
Right,
in
yeah, that's what I mean,
it.
you're shut down.
Which our truck is full of carbon monoxide, but
Yeah.
All right, Joe, I thought there was two of them.
So I just make a
Sorry.
motion, we accept the bid, or the Isaac for.
Yeah. And we'll figure out where to find something from him. I just, again, not enough time.
I think it's prudent to get another quote too, but I mean, if it's a time crunch,
they are probably the only ones we will get a quote from, is the company that Phil mentioned. And that's fine, if you want a quote, I'll get a quote, but it'll take a few weeks to get it.
can you,
And they don't sell and service the same equipment.
then you'd have them working on one furnace and someone else working on the other,
If they're not if Isaac's not a certified dealer of what you're buying from someone else, they're not gonna be able, they could do maintenance on it, but then during that warranty period, they can't do any repairs on it.
To give you a time frame.
No, he didn't.
I still go ahead and say we should do it now.
What was the exact number?
7,850.
It's gotta get fixed. Right, that's all I need. I second.
Brooklyn,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Volkowitz, yeah, Kinder,
Yes.
Yes. I say yes, because I've dealt with some of these companies before. It's like pulling teeth. Anything else? Any other, all right. Let's continue with reports then. Councilperson Weaver.
Okay, in the library, we're offering free genealogy help on Tuesday afternoons for anyone who wants guidance in researching their families. Be careful of that. We're also doing Monthly fiber arts program, so people like quilting and sewing and crocheting. It's starting soon. For those who don't know, our participants are way up from even last year. So our total participant for this year alone is 176. Our people count's 1,818 people. A lot of people use the library. Pretty good, right? But in fact, we're one of the very few towns that gets this kind of take on the library. And we lost the library. And for the dog shelter, we had 15 calls this month. Calls for service, there was 21 calls from Hamlin, 5 dogs currently in the shelter, 5 dogs were adopted, 4 dogs were deemed to owner, and 4 vet appointments. So the total number of dogs this month was 9. We're helping town of Wheatland out with 1 dog due to an emergency. Clarkson, we had no calls, and Sweden, we had 1. We seized, as everyone knows, we seized by the dog from the circumstance in the middle of town. For the zoning board, we had this one thing on the agenda was for a farm labor camp extension for Great Leaf Farms, or actually adding another trailer to their property back there. So they had I think it's an addition to the farm labor permit already, pretty sure. And that was approved.
Councilperson Vogel.
The history center was supposed to meet today, or yesterday, but then he had a conflict. We're just gonna try to get together, like maybe some type of comprehensive plan of like what the vision is for the barn. Mike, we had discussed it, like maybe coming up with like, you know, kind of hearing, I know you've got some ideas for us here too, like what your thoughts were, and Dave wanted to, you know, just meet and go over that. So just to write it down to share with you guys what his vision is, where we want that, you know, step by step to go to the barn and just the ground itself. So we are meeting in 2 weeks to talk about that. The Chamber of Commerce had a meeting, and this was, I think I told you guys last time, to kind of regroup and figure out like what the future of the chamber was gonna look like. So, there's another meeting, a follow-up meeting in, next week, a breakfast. I don't think I'm gonna be able to attend it, but, I will pass along any information from the minutes. But, I think that the plan is to really get like, what does the chamber bring to businesses? Why would someone wanna join the chamber? What benefit is it? And I think Hamlin's a little unique in that, like, we don't have a ton of businesses on, like, our main street. We do have a lot of home businesses as well. With that being said, I think the idea is that we wanna get a list of businesses in Hamlin together. So I don't know the best resource to do that. I don't know if it's pulling, like, special use permits to see, like, who has home businesses, or, I don't know if anyone has any idea.
Probably. Sure.
Yeah. We haven't really had any new special use permits issued. We haven't been in place for
Right.
10+ years. And they're in farms. We do some, dog kennels. So I mean, the vet.
Okay. So she can get you a list.
And I will let town clerk and assessors speak to their
Councilperson Wright.
So the senior group, they're going to have a picnic on June 11th in the park. And anybody 62 and older that's driving, there will be a charge to get in. And they talked about,
because people will sign up for something and then they don't show up as, you know. So they have to pay now before, when they sign up so that they can get registered. They won't be able to register unless they pay.
Is that, don't mean to interrupt you, is that the one that the town board always cooks for them at, or is that something?
This is a separate, there's no food. Everybody is to bring their own stuff, chairs, etc. So
Okay.
they've got a pavilion, but they're not supplying anything, there's no entertainment. They're not having people bring their own card games, euchre or whatever. So
Okay.
Joel said he'd be the entertainment.
Oh, perfect.
No entertainment, no food.
The AVA board was having a discussion on the kitchen use over there. Some people were doing things that they probably shouldn't have been doing, so now no organization outside would be able to use the kitchen without prior approval. And they're also looking into we look at the parking lot for anybody that doesn't know, they want to go over $100,000 to place their parking lot. Yeah. So now the grants have back open, so they're starting the approval to try to get that taken care of. I don't know how successful that'll be. They sent me an email because they need all the members current so they can show like how many people actually are members there between all the different organizations. The Hilton Parma Fire District, lots of conversation again still about the eclipse. There is an eclipse task force now. And they're going to have a public hearing or a public meeting at the Merton Williams on February 26th. And the landing zone, they're getting the helicopter, and the landing zone will be at the Merton Williams, just in case. Pretty much it's gonna be every ambulance in Cole County will be activated for it. Our ambulance here, they're gonna have both rigs that you already talked about before. They had 97 calls in January, it was the busiest in 6 years. They're 11% right now over last year. And they're just working with the fire department on anything with the eclipse event. And Hilton also got their Lucas device, and they're still getting ready to have that activated. They also were over there digging by St. Leo's, if anybody knows where that is, but they found contaminated soil, so now that's all partitioned off. So, and that's about it.
All right, Councilperson Hurlbut.
All right, planning board, from February 5th, they just had one item on the agenda. It was a lot line adjustment at 40 Ross Cove. Basically, they're just splitting 2 lots, making 2 lots out of 1 lot. There's being no public hearing needed, and that was approved. That was it for planning board last month. Hamlin Morton Walker Fire District on the 15th, they've had 25 calls year to date. And Adam was gonna go to a Battalion 2 meeting on the eclipse, and then he was gonna coordinate with Kaylee as far as what he found out from that meeting. That takes care of the fire district. Farmland protection plan, we've had a meeting on the 30th with our consultant. There was quite a bit of discussion on ag districts and ag exemptions. He had a map of the whole town, and that was looked at by everybody. A lot of good discussion there, and then there was a bigger regional map, and the discussion there was what the economic impact, not just in Hamlin, but where everybody does business within 150 mile radius. And there's more of an economic impact map from the businesses that were done. He needed input on that. And there's quite a bit of participation with that. We're looking to have another meeting. I don't know if it's gonna, the next meeting, some of these people that do business, he's hoping to get like a roundtable discussion as far as what they see in the future, what the possibilities for growing agriculture, keeping it sustainable in Hamlin. And he's gonna try and get that. He doesn't think he's gonna be able to get it done by February, but hopefully at our next meeting in March, we'll be doing that. And then just to let you know, Bob King called me from the county as far as the ag exemption and district stuff we were talking, and he's asked me if I would be interested in that being, the county, Monroe County is gonna redo their farmland protection. That was last done in 1996. So they're reviewing their plan, and he was looking at, he needed somebody from this side of the city to represent. So I ended up going to the county meeting and then explaining to the county, so. That's all I got.
Okay. Code enforcement, Cheryl.
Okay, we issued 21 permits in last month. And the cost was a little over $1,200, and valuation was over $263,000, which is always good. We had 45 CFOs and CFCs, like completed or closed. A lot of them were from before I even got here on the computer program. So we just made sure that they were not, they were marked as closed, not marked as completed. That's why there's so many of them. 167 phone calls in the office, that's picking up. Just sent out 5 violation notices, some were repeats. And we still had 2 residents before the court. We're gonna meet at the end of the month, the court in the back of the parking lot. And just to say again, I signed the processes in March. And, that's about it.
Okay. Highway Superintendent Mike.
Everybody knows what we haven't been doing. We've been out trimming trees, a lot of tree work around town. We finally got the last grove of dead ash trees out of the back of the park here. We have one more very large ash tree that we need to take out from behind one house, and then this park is finally clear of ash trees. Been going around and checking all of our street signs, fixing, replacing everything that needs to be done. Guys are doing some drainage work for Monroe County, and I've been going around trying to get a new plan together for road work because a lot has changed for this winter being as wet as it was. And coming up on advocacy days, we've got meetings to get ready for that, to go to Albany and talk to our legislators about more road work money. That's what we're doing.
Recreation.
We have been busy. We started a lot of new programs in January, and the first set of them are really finishing up between last week and this week. A lot of those sets are being full. Archery was full, bowling was full, gymnastics was full, so lots of good stuff going on. We brought in over $18,000 just in January. Most of that was registrations and rentals. Some of the sponsorship money has started coming in, so that's a little bit of that, which is good. Some new sponsorships coming in, which is good, so that's good. The Friends met a few weeks ago, and I think we got them going on the right track. We have some trustees in place and some board members, so they meet again tomorrow night to work on some bylaws. Cultural committee met for the first time for the year last month. Working on the eclipse and stuff like that, so that's good. Josh has nominated a Farm Fest for an award at the New York State Parks and Recs Conference. So a couple of community members and Laura Parker wrote letters, so that's pretty cool. The eclipse is over 100 people registered already. That's people in our family, so that's good. We're gonna give out glasses at Easter egg month. Josh went to a meeting today over in Irma with their task force to just kind of see what they were up to and if there was anything they really needed to be informed in. He said it was a good meeting. We'll share it more tomorrow, but sports registrations are coming in slowly. We had a couple scholarships given by the Friends last month, which is good. We're trying to get a ponies team back. I have the kids, I have a coach. I'm working with Little League to get us a Little League team, I guess. We have to go through them, because all the other leagues have folded around us essentially. So I'm hoping to get that going in the next few weeks, so we've been busy.
And your little Tuesday morning play group's just nice. My little granddaughter comes to those.
Yeah, and we have Monday
Which
nights now. too.
teaches the young kids interaction with other kids before they get to school and everything, so it's really good. 2 weeks ago was 14 children there, and last week was 12. So,
Yeah, and people had mentioned that we only did it during the day, in the fall, early winter, so we added a Monday night one. So it's not as well attended, but we do it on Monday night, like people, when somebody based in the thing, we'll come in.
right, thank you. Our assessor, Liz.
I wanna first thank, the town clerk's office, Patty Jo and Colleen. Last week, they helped me every day because I was short-staffed. My clerk was on vacation, and the office was really busy, and I was working on a reassessment project. So I really wanna say thank you to you guys for helping me with that. Mike had also offered help too, so I appreciate that. The other thing is, I sent you all a letter that I drafted that I wanted to send to ABS. And I didn't know if you guys had a chance to look at it. That's the company that we contracted to do the postcards. And the issue that we had with the postcards, it turned out it was a post office issue. And I mean, a lot of them are really bad, really bad. So, ABS recommended me writing a letter, and he would forward it to the post office to see if they would do anything to compensate us. So I sent you all the letter I drafted, I think Saturday. So any thoughts, anything before I send it along?
Because I got the email from, ABS, I got the impression he wanted you to write the letter to the post office. That was my impression, not to him, and then he passed it along.
I don't know, I took it that he wanted me to write it to him and have you all sign off on it. Because he said to have the board sign off on it, and it would be more, you know, along the lines that he would send it to the post office. I mean, I can redo one, but I know we're on a time crunch.
I think just the other thing that was missing that I would add is he suggested putting like an appreciable value or like what you want from the post office. Like, we are asking that you give us 50% off of our next mailing, or you know what I mean, like that we could do our,
So ABS isn't willing to give us anything.
not ABS, but the postal service.
And he said that's gonna be very hard for us to get anything at all. So I really don't know what to ask for from them. For my impact notices, I'm gonna be either doing them on my own or going through another company. And again, those are gonna go out within 5 weeks. So I'm pushing time here. Do I pursue this letter and see if the post office will give us any kind of money at all?
Yeah.
Or do I just let it go and move along?
No, I agree
Yeah.
with Jennifer. I would see if they could give us a decreased discounted rate on the impact letters when we go to send them out, you know, 50% discount or something. At least look for something.
So
That's-
should I put them on, because you gotta remember, I'm not going through the post office, I'm going through a company that contracts through them. So it's not me really asking for the discount, it should be ABS. I feel that ABS should really be fixing this because that's who we pay,
Right.
right? But they don't see it that way, they
Well,
think that
they'll
we
pass
should.
that on to the post office, I'm sure, or, you know, this letter, right? That's the point of it. For ABS to pass that letter on to the post office.
Right, but here's another option, so because I wasn't happy with the way ABS did it, I reached out to a few other places to get prices to do my impact notices. And another town actually has a folding machine that I could go to, that they would offer me to go there for free to their town to fold them all. And then I would just have to run all 3,600 through our postal machine here at the town, instead of pay somebody to do that. I don't know. but I know that I'm down to the wire. I've got 5 weeks.
So
So,
ABS is not gonna do anything.
no, they're passing it on to me to do. And we already paid.
No, I
them.
meant they're not gonna give us any break on.
Oh, they did, they sent, what they sent was, so here's another thing. They sent, they would fold them for 9 cents a piece, and they would charge us 61 cents for postage on each one. Whereas I can fold them for free, but I think our machine is gonna charge us 66 cents as a discount. So the savings is $200 for me to do it.
I mean, if you're hard pressed for time, I think, you know, you have other things going on, I think going to another town to fold all those letters, I would just say figure it out for $200. You know, if you have other things going on, like.
I do, but I
You have a
just,
lot going on in your office right now, I don't think, you know, go running to another town to fold 3,600 impact letters should be, right?
Is there another company that you can?
that's what I'm
do?
wondering. Because if I go through ABS, I'm running all 3,600 letters out to Batavia, and I've already ordered the envelopes for them. Do you see what I'm saying? So all that ABS is doing is folding them and mailing them for me. That's it. I mean, I guess I could check, but I think there's one other company that might do
I
it.
mean, first of all, I think it's ABS that should be the one
Right.
going after the post office, and I don't think the post office is gonna do anything, because they're a federal government and they're not gonna. But I do think ABS should be the one going after them. So take your business away from them, you know?
That's what I thought. That's why the town of Riga said they had this folding machine, and I know there are thousands of dollars, and she's like, Liz, I'll help you. If you bring your letters and I'll fold them.
You
But
know,
then who's
you
gonna
know,
mail them, I guess?
Yeah.
I would mail them. They would
You
come
would-
back here and I would run them through our machine.
No, but who's gonna make out the mailing,
the labels.
the labels?
You don't have to. It's envelope with the
Oh,
window.
Window in it,
Window,
okay.
So that's why they would be folded like that.
I see what you're saying.
The only thing Braga did say that if we used their machine, that if we broke it, that we'd be responsible for fixing it. But Lori did say she would run them through all with me, and she's the one who runs the machine. I mean, I don't know what else to do. I just know they gotta go out soon.
You break it, you will.
And I do wanna take the business away from ABS, because I don't think what they've done is right.
Mhm.
And I didn't know, I called BOCES, they do a mailing, but they said they won't do them for towns, they can only do it for schools.
Cause they're a government agency.
I don't know how, oh, I called Ryan Perrin, I called Bill Ryan, and he said he doesn't have a folding machine, and he can't do a mass mailing like that.
Yeah.
So,
You tried Hilton Schools?
that's who Hilton Schools gave me, they get their mailings through BOCES.
Oh, gotcha,
So,
okay.
I called
Thank you.
BOCES and they said they wouldn't do a ton. So I'm kinda at a loss.
The letter's supposed to go to ABS, right? And then
I physically delivered the letters to ABS.
this letter that you had sent, that emailed us, right?
Oh, wait, you're talking about the letter?
Yeah.
They said to scan it in, after I had the board and supervisor sign it, scan it in and he'll present it to the post office. I just don't think it's worth my time. I don't think they're gonna give us anything for it.
I don't think the post office is gonna give you squat.
No, but I think it's horrible that these cards went out like this. We paid a lot of
Right.
money.
I agree.
Mhm.
I'm very disappointed,
When
very.
we contracted through ABS, I don't understand why they're not being more forthcoming.
Yeah.
Right.
And the post office did take responsibility. I have an email from them that said they had a roller problem and that it was their fault. But what they did is they just mailed them out. They didn't call ABS and say, hey, we need new postcards. They just mailed them out as crappy as they are.
Personally, I would send the letter anyways. Whether we get, it's worth it to me. to send
Will you
it.
sign it?
Yep.
Can we sign it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what are we gonna do about the impact notices?
Well,
Go
if
and
you-
mail, go and do it yourself, go to
Yeah.
that lady or whatever, you know.
Do they not have
I wouldn't use ABS.
Right.
bulk mailing at a cheaper rate?
So I called the post office last week and he said no. He said, postage went up to 68 cents.
That did.
So he said the cheapest place I'm gonna get the mailing is on our meters here, that I can run them through.
Yep.
The only other place, I think, the east side of the city uses somebody out in Honeoye Falls, so I can reach out and see if I can find out how much they would charge me. That's my only other option, other than mailing them myself.
I mean, always do it yourself.
Yeah, I don't think I would use, I don't think I'd give them another penny if that's how they do, I agree. Because that's how they do business.
Taxes are done through ABS, and there are times where I thought I should just be doing this myself, but, you know, we're talking about a lot of work.
And if we bought a folding machine, we're talking about $8,000-9,000.
We're not gonna buy a whole.
Right, right, I understand that. So that wasn't even what I was gonna propose, that's why Lori told me she had one, I'm like, can we borrow it? And she went and asked the supervisor, and he said, sure, come on over, you know, you can use it. Might take me a half a day, I don't know, I've never used one.
Which town is that?
Riga.
What to send them, thank you. Of an official thing, thank you, no.
Right, and I'm still gonna get my envelopes through Ryan Print, then I'll just come back here and we'll just have to, put a lot of money on the meter here for the machine.
Okay. All
They
right,
gotta
we'll do it
stuff
that
them
way.
too, right?
I think when you fold them, I think they might have a machine where it folds right into it, I'm not positive. If we have to stop, I'm gonna be having all the departments here help me. So there's 3,600, so I'll be asking everybody to
Our
help.
staff meeting on Wednesday, we're
Yeah.
So it's gonna be about a month, I'm hoping they go out.
Just call it a workshop.
Middle of March. The middle of March, so we'll see.
All right, yep, sounds good, we'll do it that way.
You will? I would love that. That's it, that's all I've got. And I will do that letter like you said. I don't know how far it'll go.
Yeah, I don't either, but if you don't, at least this will say what you gotta say and get it.
I'll make the edits and have Jen look at it, and then I'll forward it out, and if you guys can get together or whatever, sign it. I'll get it to them.
Sounds good. Town clerk.
We're collecting taxes, that's been keeping us busy. I would like to mention, if any of you guys have information to go out in the newsletter, the town newsletter, organizations, what's happening in Hamlin, it's good to have that information available. We get people signing up for that newsletter every day. So people do read it.
Do you know how many you have now?
How many people on the list?
Yeah.
I could look that up.
I just was curious.
I told Colleen today to put that page on there for the sewer hookup. And she said that was fine, it'd be easy.
That's about it.
Okay, thank you. Matt?
Steve, did you take a packet of those papers?
Yes.
Okay, the only reason I ask is because my write-up for the sewer said that if people didn't receive that you had some.
Everybody here
Cheryl
has some. She has some, she has some, yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make.
I delivered 2 of them today.
I didn't remember if you told.
Because they said they didn't get them, so I delivered 2 of them today.
They're taped to front doors, they're stuck in the handle of houses that nobody's there, there's gonna be a lot of people that don't.
I know it. I told them they were on our website and everyone was there, the same thing, but I want to let them know that I delivered it today. I don't know, is there anything about conservation? Go ahead.
Here,
Rob, go ahead.
I can at least introduce myself, that I'm the new member of the Conservation Board. My name's Rob Westcott. Obviously, you guys appointed me at the previous meeting, so I'm here to do my due diligence, and this is my first time here representing the board, so.
Okay, thank you.
As for news, no, I'm kind of, I don't know, gaining steam there, so it was all news to me. So.
Okay. Gotta get used to it first.
Yeah, exactly.
Tree giveaway this year?
What's that?
Get your tree
Your
giveaway.
tree giveaway this year?
Yeah, we did talk quite a bit about that. So we did put in the tree order. There's a young lady over there that knows a heck of a lot more about what's going on than me,
Saturday.
and I'm not afraid to admit to it.
April 20th, is it right? On the date?
I think that's,
The date,
Yeah,
calendar?
that is the Saturday.
Okay, so that's going to be, it's from 9 to 11 in the town hall parking lot. And, Mr. Rutherford plans on picking up all the trees from Echo Park and bringing them to his house and bringing them here on Saturday. So if anybody wants to come by and help hand out trees to residents, Conservation Board would welcome that.
Thank you, man. That's all right.
Like I said, young lady down there knows a lot more
You're new
about what's
at-
going on. and-
You only had one meeting so far.
Right.
All right, I report. I had a meeting with Josh about our property, Josh Jensen, our person, about the property up there, and see what kind of hospital people we can get, the property the town owns up at the senior track. And he gave us some information about that. Maureen and I actually had a meeting with him. I have to schedule a meeting with Senator Ort and Senator Hawley about getting funds, possible funds for that and everything, so we're starting to move forward on that. I have not yet got the meeting yet, I just talked to him Friday night. Josh did give us some things about U of R, who might be interested in putting a unit or whatever out here, doing some affordable housing or whatever out here. You know, urgent care or something, so just getting everybody together. I talked to Mercy Flight today, worked on them, about talking about the ambulance. We're working on an agreement between us and Mercy Flight for that down there. They really wanna be here to guarantee you that they really wanna be here. And everything else, cause they like being out here. They just, we're just worried because they're covering things outside of our town. I asked them about they're looking into putting a second ambulance, and he said, because I went and asked them about, well, what happens when our ambulance is filling in for Monroe ambulance outside of our town, and it's not here. So, we did bring that up, he's gonna look into it further.
That goes everywhere. I mean, the other day, there was a Gates ambulance around past our house. It
Mhm.
seems like everybody's covering. It's so rough because nobody wants to do that anymore, and, you know, they're going everywhere.
Yeah. I have a Great Lakes Zoom thing tomorrow about 2014 plan for down by the lake. We talked about some of the non-buildable property down by the lake. I have another lady, I have a map here, I actually went down to the lake. This is one of the roads I have to deliver to today, so I was down there anyway, but there is a lot of wetland here in this one area. There is a little spot right there, or maybe you could build a house, and maybe you can't. She said she has a thing, I do not have a DEC letter or anything that says you cannot build there. She's asking to have the taxes raised on her property too. Most of her property is in a wetland, she can't build. The property is a little area where she can build. I do not have anything, it's federal wetland, so it's gotta be Army Corps, not DEC that says she can build. So that's what I'm gonna,
Where is that, what street?
it's on Benedict Beach. But I mean, if you can look at just that little sliver, it's right there. That's about the only place she can build on it. Whether they let her do it or not, I went down there and actually the property is higher than the roadway out front. I don't know, but she wants it now, but we should probably do our due diligence on that also. Get a letter from the Army Corps and saying, no, you can't build there or whatever, to make sure before we say, okay, you don't have to pay, and there's actually a building out there.
Steve, didn't I give you a letter from the DEC that they stated, or it was
That
from?
letter does not state whether she can or
But
can't.
it was from somebody who did a study on it.
Yes,
They
it was.
paid and for a study to be done on that and said it could not be built on.
I don't have that study.
There was 2 pages or 3 pages I sent you with that picture.
I just got the one page with the picture, that page right there.
Yep, and I think that states in there that it's
It
not
does.
buildable.
It says that on this thing, it says the Army Corps of Engineers has a say on whether it can be built there or not. Unless I'm reading it wrong.
I'll look, maybe there's a 3rd page, but I had something that
Unless there's
said
another
from that.
page that I don't have right now, yeah.
Okay, I'll get it tomorrow morning, I'll forward you.
But I need something in writing that maybe says, yes, you cannot build there. Before I can say, no, all right, you don't have to pay. But that's just, and she doesn't need that right now either, but we need to do more due diligence on that before we just say yes.
I need to know though, by March 1st.
Right, our next meeting, the
Okay, if
28th.
I'm taking it off the tax roll.
Right, that's what I just told those gentlemen too, like our next meeting.
And it's gotta be absorbed in the rest of the district.
Correct. Yes, it would have to be absorbed, split up between the rest of the district.
But we're also picking up one in that district too. So we have a new build in that district.
Right.
So they'd only be absorbing one. Now, if you eliminate those two, you'd absorb one.
But like I say, we will be careful because we're gonna open up the door.
And then I thought we already voted on this. I guess I'm not understanding, because I feel like we already went down this road. We talked it to death, we voted on it, and everyone voted, almost everyone voted that they wanted to charge taxes on vacant properties for the sewer.
And so, yes,
So why are we, like,
But that was buildable property, so if I remember.
even though it's vacant, can it be built on? That's what the question is. So that's why you almost have to look at everything case by case.
So, I mean, because if we do it for two people, I think there's a lot of non-buildable lots, I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Well,
We're
that's what I,
down that
that's
road.
what I would.
That's why we're not gonna make a decision tonight. We're gonna talk about this and look at it and see exactly what is what. That's why I'm just,
Remember correctly, they're only getting charged half. And I
They're full.
Oh, they're getting
Yep.
full?
Yep.
Oh, I thought we did half.
You made the suggestion, but
But- we need to look at this. When I say everything just happened in the last few days, or last week or whatever, so. We need to get more information, look at it better and everything and talk and before we make any decisions. Go, no, you got something else, Jennifer?
No.
No, we need to talk more about
I
this,
definitely
absolutely.
think we need to talk more about it.
Absolutely. We do. Get more information and talk about it before we do anything, absolutely. That's, I'm just bringing up what was brought to me, that's in the past week.
Because then that would have to be, if we did do that, that would have to be absorbed someplace else.
Right. And there might, all of a sudden, there might be other people too and stuff, so. We need to look at it closer. It just happened, so we need a little time to look at it. I know the taxes are coming up. But they actually got taxed last year on the same property, did they not?
Yes, but
Yes.
didn't we take one off last year? So there was one we did take off last year.
A 10-foot wide lot we
Yeah.
did take off. There was
We did.
one lot where all it was a walking path. to the lake. It was 10 foot wide. Why it was ever put on there, I don't know. It was like a 10-foot wide path going out to the.
Did MRB do the engineering when I wasn't here
Yes.
when,
We did take that one off last year, but we said, why was that ever even put on a 10-foot
right,
wide
but we still
path?
absorbed that one. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I know it.
I just don't understand. MRB should have caught a lot of these, I would have thought, in the beginning. And also, there's a lot of lots down there that aren't buildable in some areas. They're not. I'm just being honest.
With our zoning codes where we have right now too. Do we change the zoning code? Like I say, I don't know. Both of these lots might be buildable.
I mean, buildable shed or buildable house?
Buildable house, I don't know.
I mean, when me and Peggy were going through the waterfront doing it, I had to figure out, am I assessing them on a primary lot or am I assessing them on a non-buildable lot?
What can you put a 30 by 30 foot house on? So as big as this room, a little bit bigger than this room, a house. Can you put it
But
on
then,
those?
then how much land do you actually have on your 30 by 30? Do you know what I'm saying? And then you have to worry about water receding. I mean, I have two houses down there that they're in the water almost, two of them. Again, there's another issue. I'm just saying, I'm surprised at some that wasn't looked at a little bit differently because of the non-buildable lots down there.
They're not buildable, some of them are buildable now because of the septic.
Some are,
So
agreed.
that was discussed, that these non-buildable lots currently will now be buildable lots because of the sewers. That was discussed.
a bunch of these buildings that
Yes.
were non-buildable, may be buildable now
No,
because of the
yes.
sewer system.
I get that, I do, I get it.
That's, we are not making a decision tonight, we're not making this hasty decision either, we're gonna look.
No, we should talk about it.
We should talk about it,
Like
so.
a workshop or.
We can do it at a zoning workshop too and look at it, we need to get more information too. So, I'm not saying to make a decision tonight. We are going to have a department head meeting here the 21st at 8:30 in the morning. And as far as reports, that's it. Our discussion, just I want to say, we have a zoning workshop this Thursday, the 15th at 7:00. And then anybody else, any other discussion?
How many dogs live on that registered?
Yeah, not sending out because she asked not to do it till after ten. She did, yeah.
Okay.
Penny Joe asked me to talk to him and say, do not do it till after they get done with this. So we have that whole.
Ready to go now.
Yeah, no, we can start now. You said after the 11th.
Or any further business, I mean, motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?